Hey there, Living Stones. Pastor Mark here. Just flew in from Vegas this afternoon after the last few days assessing 3 church planners for Acts 29. That was exciting. It's been a big week. I wanted to take just a minute here to talk about our Sunday service and as well as invite you to participate in our service and or participate online. As we all know, the government and the county has reduced our gathering size for churches to 50 people instead of the previous mandate, which was 50% of our building's capacity. Now, we've been more conservative. We haven't been running a literal 50% in our building. We've been more conservative at 100 seats for our SVPs for both services. Our 9 o'clock service has, somewhere between 80 to 100, and our second service has had around 50 people. So you can see we're already very, very close to the recommended mandates. So some people have reached out and said, are we doing more gatherings? Are we reducing our size to 50? Are we asking the church to not comply with the requirements or recommendations that have been handed by the governor and instead continue meeting as we are? We're choosing as elders, convicted, and we believe it's a Holy Spirit filled decision. As we prayed, as we've talked, the best way to lead the church, we are humbly and gratefully choosing not to comply with the 50-person services, but instead to maintain these services at the 50% capacity. One, just briefly, is the consistency across the board. Restaurants are at 50%, casinos are at 50%, other businesses can have 50%. It seems strange, it seems more exclusive to the church as a whole that the church can't gather at 50%. And so for just consistency, there's something there that's caused a pause in our spirit about complying with the mandate. We want to be humble. This is not a standing against the government sort of move. We're humble. We want to honor the government and the requirements that have been mandated, but we believe we can do that in the spirit of it. We also are grateful for the hard work of the leaders who have to make hard decisions during this pandemic. Unprecedented, right? We hear that all the time. And so we think that the recommendations for masks are good, social distancing is good, the 50% is good, the requirements that we have around our building is good, but we believe that reducing our gathering to 50 people is going to have a negative effect and impact in the lives of our church and in how our church is running. We believe that we need to be obedient to Jesus, and that if we were to retreat back into our homes because of the potential of the spread of the virus, that is not good for the soul and for the shepherding of our people. But we also believe that doing multiple services at 50 people is not good either, as it taxes the team, which is in short supply in this time anyway. We can't recommend doing watch parties if the virus is so, because small living rooms are actually more of a spreader than the risk being in the building in our church at 100 people. And so we believe, and humbly and gratefully, we are choosing not to comply because we think it's better for our church and safer for our church and not consistent with other mandates, plus a list of other reasons that we can talk more about on Sunday. We're not asking you to disobey the governor. We're asking you to pray to the Holy Spirit. We're asking you to ask God what is good and right. We're not asking you to break your conscience or obligating you to break your conscience. We are providing the online church. However, we would encourage you to consider and count the cost of what this season has meant and how it's affected us as a church. And maybe now's a time to stand boldly and trust the Lord and move forward, but it is no obligation by any means. There is no judgment. We don't believe you're a weaker Christian. We just don't want you to live out of fear. Live out of reasonableness, trust, and faith in Jesus, and make your decisions accordingly. Join us online this Sunday so you can hear more. Join us in the building as we continue to meet at 50% capacity. And our RSVPs and our links and all of that will be in this description. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday.